All right, a little bit about our speaker today. So Amelia Pantalos is a licensed acupuncturist. She's with the NCCM. She's also a massage therapist. Over 10 years experience in clinical education and has taught clinical and communication skills to student acupuncturists, physicians, nurses, and massage therapists. Did I make a mistake? You are a massage therapist. Thumbs up. Yeah, you are. Yeah,
Yeah.
right? Good. You teach to them and you are one. And you're an acupuncturist. They are based in Louisville, Kentucky, and earned their master's degree in acupuncture and Chinese medicine from Aoma Graduate School of Integrative Medicine in Austin. Amelia's practice includes acupuncture, herbal medicine, massage therapy, and birth doula services for patients with a diversity of needs, with an emphasis on support for preconception and the childbearing years. Amelia is an active member of the LGBTQIA plus community and brings both personal and professional experience to their ethics educational offerings, which is why we wanted Amelia to give this class today. It's important to let you know that this is for educational purposes only. This is not intended to be medical advice. If you have a health condition, please do seek out a qualified healthcare provider. This is for continuing education purposes only. Also, by watching this course, it does not give you the scope to practice acupuncture. This is for educational purposes only. Your jurisdiction has its own laws and rules that determines whether you have the scope to practice acupuncture in your jurisdiction. And again, Amelia, thank you for bringing this topic to Healthy Seminars. People need to do ethics, but whether this was going to get ethics approval or not, I think it's an important topic. And I'm really glad that you are here to present this. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Lauren. And thank you and everybody at the Healthy Seminars team has been really lovely in getting this course off the ground and arranged for me. So it's been a pleasure to work with you all so far. So thank you for being so happy to have me here today. I am going to go ahead and jump right in here. I'm so pleased that you all came to come and learn with me this afternoon. I see a lot of folks in Canada, a lot of folks in California. Hello to my friend in Australia. I'm glad that you're here as well. I know it's probably very late for you. So Lauren introduced me. I wanted to speak just a little bit about what my practice looks like here in Louisville to give you all some context for where I'm coming from, because I know that certainly we don't all have the same clinical practice experience on a day-to-day basis in terms of how many patients we see, what our the capacity of our clinical practice looks like. So I work in a clinic with 2 other practitioners where all of us do acupuncture and herbal medicine. And then I also do massage therapy primarily for prenatal and postpartum clients. And I really have the opportunity and the pleasure to take a little bit more time with my patients. I see about 30 to 40 people a week, and I have, really complete control over what my practice looks like in that way. And I know that not everybody has that kind of privilege. So I wanted to name that first and foremost in terms of what I'm going to share today and how that may not always be entirely possible for you to be making some of the changes that I'm going to talk about closer to the end in terms of your physical clinical space and those kinds of things. I wanted to offer this course because it looked like there was a need for it. There are not a whole lot of course offerings on this subject out there for acupuncturists specifically. And I figure if we've all got to get our ethics CEUs anyway, then I wanted to create the opportunity for people to have access to this information. I think a lot of folks want to be doing better. It would just like kind of a litmus check about, I get a lot of questions about, oh, I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong. I was afraid to say this or to do that because I didn't want to upset people, but my intent is good. So I hope that I am able to answer some of the questions that you all are bringing in with you today. And if I'm not answering your questions, then please, please, please put them in the chat so that we can cover them at the end. I am going to rely on my notes here a little bit today. So I wanted to preface this that although I really am so grateful that we have the opportunity to learn on Zoom, to learn online more than ever before, that this is not the best way for every single person to actually learn information. So if what you get out of this course is some bits and pieces of information that then spark curiosity, that then prompt you to go and learn in ways that are easier for you to absorb information, whether that means you go to the library or find someone to follow on social media that's an activist that's going to give good information. If that means you're going to go find a podcast or watch a documentary, the other ways that you engage with this subject, I think, are also really valuable. So thank you for coming and spending some time here with me today. It is always a little bit vulnerable to come into a place where you don't know everything. And I hope that I have you here at your learning edge where there is going to be some things that are familiar. And then I'm going to bring some new ideas for you as well. All right, so briefly, here's what we're going to talk about in today's class. We're going to start with just a really quick self-assessment. If you can grab a pencil and paper here while I'm running through the rest of this. We're going to start with kind of less practical things and move towards more practical things. So the beginning part of this, I want to make sure that I am giving you all the contextual information that you need and the more philosophical understanding of why the needs of LGBTQ patients can be a little bit different. And then we will move into the more practical things as we go along. So we're going to talk about demographics. We're going to talk about historic and current barriers to care. I am going to say I am coming to you in the heart of America here in Louisville, Kentucky, and things here are not great from a political standpoint, and I will try not to dwell on that too much, but I cannot in good conscience not acknowledge it at all. So for those of you that are not practicing in the States, some of this material will be perhaps less relevant to your practice, but certainly not irrelevant. I'm going to talk a little bit about gender and sexuality from my own personal integration with the TCM perspective on that. We're going to talk about dignity and respect, since this is an ethics course. We're going to talk about clinical communication, which is one of my favorite things to talk about. We're going to talk about confidentiality and HIPAA. We're going to talk about truth and advertising, again, one of those ethics buzzwords. And then at the very end, we'll get to some physical, clinical space considerations and those sorts of things. We are going to have some time for questions at the end. So again, please don't hesitate to ask anytime. I want this to be the space where you can come and ask the questions that you're afraid to ask. There is no question that is too like embarrassing. You're not going to offend me as long as you are well intended. Like, this is why I wanted to create this space. Okay, so this self-assessment, my questions for this are going to be on the next slide. This is just going to be a really quick, I've got 8 statements that I want you to jot down on a Likert scale, 1 being a strong disagree, 5 being a strong agree, or we've got 4 rather being a strong agree. So you have to choose a little bit one way or the other. How much you agree with each of the statements. And I like, your answers are private. I'm not going to ask you to put these in the chat. If you're recorded, then if you're watching this as a recording, then even better. But I want you to be honest with yourself about where you are and not where you would like to be in terms of what your responses are to these questions. So we've got 1, again, being strongly disagree, 2 being disagree, 3 being agree, and 4 being strongly agree.